Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. Just recently on Coast to Coast AM with George Knapp, two former CIA officials were interviewed, and they both talked about UFOs and their experiences with extraterrestrials. Think about that. You know, there was a time when you would never see former government officials coming forward and telling the world that they had experiences with extraterrestrials, let alone UFOs. I mean, you didn't hear that. I mean, sometimes there would be, UFO researchers would get a lot of stuff anonymously, off the record, and you wouldn't know who said it. But you didn't have things like this going on now. I mean, it seems like it's common. I mean, this is all par for the course these days, with Lou Elizondo, and it just seems like it's a snowball effect. But it's very interesting that you're seeing some CIA officials come forward and making statements like this publicly. But anyway, they were on that radio program, Coast to Coast AM, and there was an article that was written about it. It's on this website called Alien UFO Sightings, and I will leave the link for that article in the description. But anyhow, it says here, recently, two veteran CIA officers, Jim Semivan and John Ramirez, who have expressed personal interest in UAP issues and cases, joined the George Knapp Show to discuss the CIA's role in the study of UFOs and their own experiences. Jim Semivan spent 25 years with the CIA and then joined other former government insiders as part of Tom DeLonge's To the Stars Academy. He detailed how he was inducted into the CIA and learned spycraft, which takes years to master. The CIA works on a need-to-know principle, so when it came to UFOs, Semivan was not made specifically aware of research on this topic, though CIA analyst Kit Green was known for pursuing the paranormal. On Coast to Coast AM, Semivan described his own alien-type encounters that occurred to him and his wife starting in 1990, in which beings showed up in their bedroom. The incident was authentic and not a hypnagogic or dream state, he stipulated. The couple subsequently observed on and off poltergeist activity in their home, and more recently he said he saw a hooded figure that resembled the Death Eater character from Harry Potter, who perhaps materialized to herald the death of a close friend. Semivan said he concurs with the remark made by Skinwalker Ranch researcher Colm Kelleher that the UFO phenomenon is a lot more than nuts and bolts and machines, as there are also psychic and biological elements that ratchet up the high strangeness. To the Stars' investigation of metamaterials with odd isotopic ratios, possibly associated with UFOs, was ongoing, he added. And in the first half of this interview, the first half of the interview was with Semivan. This is what he said. He goes, "I think they mention that the phenomenon is a natural part of our universe and we're living in it, but we don't recognize it. The same way that insects and animals don't recognize the human universe. A cat and a dog could be running through a library, but they don't have the faintest idea what the books are all about and what libraries are all about. We might be walking through our existence and there's a whole other reality that surrounds us that we just simply don't have the ability to see or interact with. It seems to be peeking inside our little consensus reality. As I explained to somebody once, it comes close, it teases us, it cajoles us, it lies to us, but you can never take it home to meet the parents. It won't allow you to do that. There's no formal introduction. Add on top that there's no ontology, which is just a fancy word. It basically means there's no structure to even discuss this. We don't have a common lexicon. Somebody said we have dots but no connections. I don't think we have the dots." Now, and then there's this other guy now, John Ramirez. He's another 25-year CIA veteran. He specialized in ballistic missile systems. And he recalled his long-standing interest in spycraft and how he shifted from being a Navy officer to the CIA in 1984. He compared intel gathering to being a journalist for a news service, though his sources for reports were typically clandestine. Like Semivan, he also experienced what might be considered alien abduction type experiences, including being placed on an examination table in a circular craft. Interestingly, a number of his counterparts in the CIA and NSA also had UFO experiences, he revealed. In his job related to missile defense, he became aware of times when Russian radar would detect unusual craft, and in one instance, he said they tried to lure a UAP into landing. Ramirez noted that CIA historian Gerald Haynes wrote about the agency's study of UFOs from 1947 through the 1990s for a division that was initially called the Office of Scientific Intelligence. What was particularly intriguing to Ramirez was that the division had life sciences and medical people on staff, indicating possible interest in alien bodies. He also described how an Air Force pilot on the plane that flew near Kamchatka to monitor Russian tests observed a massive milky white wall of light flying toward him at 6,200 miles per hour, though the Air Force assumed it was some kind of countermeasure by the Russians. Regarding the military sightings of transmedium UAP like Tic Tacs, Ramirez said he does not believe that Russia or any other foreign country has the capabilities to produce this kind of anti-gravity technology. And there's more to this article. And again, if you're interested in it, I highly recommend that you check it out. And check out this website. They have a lot of stuff on here that seems very interesting. However, the whole point of this is, it's amazing how far we've come. I mean, this is unbelievable that we actually have these people that work for the CIA making statements like this publicly. That just goes to show you again that this is a slow disclosure that we're going through right now. There's no question. There's no question about it. I mean, I know a lot of people out there still don't believe in this. They don't in their minds. There's no such thing as extraterrestrials visiting Earth, which is actually insane. To me, that's an insane prospect at this point. There's just too much evidence out there. And here again, we have people, former CIA officials, not only telling you that there's, they're telling you that not only are these craft real, right, but they actually had experiences with aliens themselves. It's not a crazy subject anymore, folks. The people who are crazy are the people who just are not accepting it. They're not accepting reality. But, there was a day, you can compare this to 1989 when Bob Lazar, stepped forward because he thought somebody in the government was going to bump him off because, he left his job he lost his job at S4, trying to study these flying saucers that the government had hidden there, right? He lost his job because he was taking people to a certain spot at night to look at these things, being tested. So he got caught doing that, and then he was worried that he was gonna something was gonna happen to him. So he went to George Knapp, of course, who was interviewing these two guys here. He went to George Knapp, who was working at a TV station there in Nevada, and the rest is history. He went public with what was going on there. He's never made anything out of this. This is, Bob Lazar never had any reason to lie. But the point is that back then it was a different story. I mean, they might have bumped him off. He might have disappeared if he didn't open his mouth back then. He felt like that was the only thing he could do. Now, a lot of people say he's a liar. Even somebody who the late great Stanton Friedman, somebody I completely have nothing but respect for. I think this is the one thing that Stanton was wrong about. Stanton did not believe Bob Lazar. I believe Stanton was wrong about that. I do believe Bob Lazar. I believe that he did work on these craft. I mean, the government, obviously, there were things that happened to Lazar after this stuff came out that, they did try to erase some of his past, But the point is that things are different now. It's just a different story. Now people are talking about this more openly, ever since like Lou Elizondo stepped up to the plate. Now you got CIA agents, former CIA agents telling you that they actually had experiences with aliens. What more do you want? What more do you want? I mean, we're living in a different age here. 2022, this could be the year. This could be the year when, we find everyone finds out for certain what's been going on. This could be it.